Tevin Chittister here with WeAgree.life, and we're talking right now about old paradigm thinking, the world we live in today, hostile, competitive, warring, burden of cost, rape, war, excess, lying politicians, and so on. The thinking in this paradigm, in the way we think to get by every day, will not allow us to think clearly enough about how to live in the new paradigm or how to create living in the new paradigm. This is so important for people to understand and so valuable for everyone to understand who is in the world peace movement arena and actively involved today. And for those of you who are wondering, well, what can I do about it? Nothing, you think, right? Well, and the reason you feel that way is because other people say to you, when you say something positive about making the world better, they say, well, I can't do anything about it, so what's the point of talking about it? So we have all of those dilemmas that we're actually choosing. What I do is I never think about how I live my life today in the present competitive world the way the present competitive world lives. All of my businesses I have run in the new paradigm philosophies. And what I'm sharing with you is real important. You can't think old paradigm and create the new paradigm. You can't fix the paradigm we live in because it has hierarchy, people telling each other how to live, and lying and cheating and backstabbing, and because the present paradigm only works if you are quiet and you do what you're told and you remain a slave. So you just can't think old paradigm thinking to get to the new paradigm. The new paradigm is very easy to think of and imagine. Everything I do is done from benevolent intention. I use good common sense and ethics that are good for all life on the planet, not just my own or my family's life. So one of the reasons that people reject the idea of a free and kind world and getting there is because they have to live in the old paradigm and they have to survive in it. They have to keep their paycheck and their position. They have to raise their family. But I'm telling you that you can think new paradigm while you're living in the old paradigm to create the new paradigm. It's that simple. And you have to, because the choices you make when you communicate need to be new paradigm choices. An intentional community or a commune, let's get together and buy some land and become totally self-sufficient, and yet you're surrounded by a county that doesn't live that way, that is hostile and competitive. And one day, like Waco or these people that the government takes down, the one small town idea is great, but you have to get the agreement of everybody who lives in that community, city, county, etc., state, federal government. Everyone has to agree to the new paradigm for the new paradigm to survive and be successful. Now, the only time that I have found that that's not true is in communes from the 60s and 70s, but they're still using the old paradigm, and they're just very good at not getting any interference from the old paradigm while they're living in their community where they own their own land and have their own businesses and also work in the outer community. So there are a few of them that have survived pretty well, but they tell me stories that are not fun because they know they still have to get along with the old paradigm, with the paradigm we live in. So this is food for thought. Think about the choices you make every day when you're asking humanity to free the world, when you're asking humanity to give everyone abundance, when you're asking humanity to not vote for government and let everyone have an equal say, when you're asking humanity to apply technological, creative solutions in a way that doesn't harm nature at all, in fact, harmonizes with nature. Old paradigm, very destructive. There's a country called Ecuador, right on the equator in South America, and Ecuador did everything right for about 22 years, created a new constitution that the people drew up themselves. They made it possible to eliminate an elected official within 3 days by popular vote. And so anytime there's a bad guy that gets in there, they just get rid of him, right? But they have never figured out a way to survive economically as a country, so they had to borrow $5 billion from China, and they ended up letting China go into the Amazon and just beat the tar out of it, literally, just trash it environmentally, just like Chevron and Texaco did before China came. So, old paradigm, the one we're living in, kills the planet. We have very little time left. Thinking new paradigm is how you create new paradigm. Tevin Chittister with WeAgree.life.